"You're not invited to Christmas this year," my dad snapped. Just like that, years of loyalty, money, and love erased in one sentence. What he didn't know was that I'd already put down $10,000 to rent the luxury chalet they were all planning to enjoy. And when he cut me out, I cut them off, and they never saw it coming. If you've ever been disrespected by the very people who were supposed to love you most, this story is going to hit hard. Stick around, because this isn't just about revenge, it's about self-worth, boundaries, and the sweetest holiday justice. And hey, if you believe that karma always comes around, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. You ever notice how some families have a default child? The one who quietly does all the work, makes all the sacrifices, and yet, somehow never gets the credit? That was Marina. From the outside, her family looked picture-perfect. Big Christmas dinners, Instagram-worthy vacations, smiling family portraits. But if you pulled back the curtain, you'd see the truth. Those picture-perfect memories were built almost entirely on Marina's back. She was the one who organized birthday parties, booked vacation rentals, coordinated meals, and even picked out presents her parents would later hand out as if they'd bought them themselves. Every December, while her siblings relaxed, Marina became the engine of Christmas. She strung up the lights, handled the travel plans, and turned chaos into cozy. And she did it without complaint. Because deep down, she thought, maybe this is how I earn my place. Maybe if she gave enough time, money, energy, they'd finally look at her and see more than the background character in their story. Her dad especially. He was the kind of man who expected things to be done, but never asked who made them happen. In his mind, Marina was dependable, reliable, but not important. And that's the cruel irony. The more she gave, the less they valued it. Because to them, her effort wasn't love. It was just expected. So when Christmas came around this year, Marina went all out. She rented a luxury chalet up in the mountains, snow-dusted pines, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a frozen lake, fireplaces in every room. The kind of place you'd see on the cover of a travel magazine. She poured $10,000 of her own savings into the deposit. It wasn't just money, it was years of careful saving, skipped vacations, side hustles after work. But she told herself it would be worth it. This year, they'll see. This year, maybe I'll finally matter. Of course, she had no idea just how wrong she was. The chalet was booked. The menus were drafted. Marina had even ordered custom stockings with everyone's names stitched in gold thread. For once, she felt a flicker of excitement. Like maybe, just maybe, she'd pulled off the kind of Christmas her family would never forget. Then the phone rang. It was her dad. His voice was clipped, impatient, like she'd interrupted something more important. "Dad, Marina, listen. You're not invited to Christmas this year." At first, she thought she misheard. She even laughed nervously, waiting for the punchline. "Marina, wait, what? What do you mean I'm not invited?" But his tone sharpened. "Dad, we decided it's just going to be family this year." Her stomach dropped. Just family? Wasn't she family? She'd planned the whole thing. "Marina, Dad, I'm the one who booked the chalet. I paid for it. What are you talking about?" Silence on the other end. Then that dismissive sigh, the one she knew too well. "Dad, don't make this difficult. You always overcomplicate things. Just accept it. It'll be easier for everyone." And with that, he hung up. The dial tone echoed in her ear like a slap. She stared at her phone, her heart pounding so hard she felt it in her throat. Her hands trembled. Her breath came in sharp bursts, almost like she was drowning. "After everything I've done? After all the years of holding this family together? They cut me out, like I was never even part of it?" She looked around her apartment. The tiny Christmas tree she'd decorated alone, the carefully wrapped gifts stacked in the corner, the printed confirmation email for the chalet pinned on her fridge. Her entire body felt heavy. Betrayal isn't just sadness, it's disorientation. It's the moment you realize the people you've been bleeding yourself dry for never cared in the first place. And that's when something shifted inside her. The grief turned sharp, cold, almost electric. Her father thought he'd just uninvited her from Christmas. What he didn't know was that, with one decision, he'd lit the fuse on the sweetest revenge she would ever take. Marina sat frozen after that call, staring at the faint reflection of herself in her darkened phone screen. Her dad's words echoed in her head like a cruel refrain. "It's just going to be family this year." Her chest felt tight, as if all the air had been sucked from the room. Her hands were clammy, her pulse erratic, like her own body was revolting against the truth she didn't want to accept. She walked aimlessly around her apartment, brushing her fingers across the backs of the chairs, the counters, the stockings she had hung just for herself. All the while her thoughts clawed at her, overlapping, chaotic. How could they? After everything? $10,000, gone for people who don't even want me there. Am I really that disposable? Tears burned hot in her eyes, but she bit them back. She had cried for her family too many times before. Birthdays forgotten. Milestones ignored. All those times her siblings were celebrated while she stood in the background, holding the camera, making sure their smiles looked perfect. And now they wanted her erased from Christmas too. Her father probably thought she'd just accept it. That she'd stay quiet, lick her wounds, and let them enjoy a holiday she had built. That was always the pattern. They took, she gave, and no one ever said thank you. But as she stood there, her vision blurred by tears, something inside her snapped. The pain in her chest hardened into something else, cold, sharp, decisive. A single thought surfaced, cutting through the noise in her head like a blade. If I'm not invited, then neither is my money. She marched to her desk, flipped open her laptop, and pulled up the chalet booking confirmation. Her finger hovered over the cancel reservation button. For a moment, doubt whispered. What if this ruins Christmas for the kids? What if they finally hate me for good? But then another voice answered, steady, strong, a part of her she'd buried for years. They already don't value you. They already erased you. Why should you keep bleeding for people who never bleed for you? Her hand stopped trembling. Her back straightened. With one deliberate click, she hit cancel. Seconds later, an email pinged, refund processed. $10,000 returned to your account. She stared at the screen, stunned by the rush of relief that washed over her. For the first time in her life, she wasn't their doormat. She wasn't their quiet little servant. They thought they could cut her out of Christmas? Fine. She'd cut them off from the luxury holiday they thought was theirs to enjoy. And as the money slid back into her account, so did something she hadn't felt in years: control. 3 days after canceling the chalet, Marina's phone buzzed with a text from her sister. Sister, hey, weird question, but the chalet company just emailed me saying the booking was cancelled. Do you know anything about that? Marina stared at the screen. A laugh bubbled up in her throat, sharp and bitter. Do I know anything about it? She was the only one who ever knew anything about anything. She didn't respond. She let the message sit there, unread in their eyes. An hour later, another text came, this time from her brother. Brother, Marina? Everyone's freaking out. The chalet is saying there's no reservation under our name. What's going on? Still, she said nothing. She imagined them scrambling, rifling through emails they never had, because of course they never handled the details. They had always trusted that Marina would sort it out. By that evening, her dad called. His voice thundered through the phone. Dad, call me. Now. She didn't. Instead, she muted the call and poured herself a glass of wine, sinking into her couch. For the first time in years, she didn't feel her stomach twist at the idea of ignoring him. She let the phone ring out, then die. The next morning, the messages escalated. Sister, this isn't funny, Marina. Brother, Christmas is in 4 days. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Dad, pick up the phone. You're making a huge mistake. Marina sipped her coffee, scrolling through the chaos. For once, they were the ones running in circles, and she was the one watching calmly from the sidelines. She pictured it vividly, her family piling into their expensive cars, kids whining in the backseat, expecting to roll up to a snowy paradise. And instead, nothing. No reservation. No key waiting at the desk. Just disappointment. For years, she had been the invisible glue holding their perfect little image together. And now that glue was gone, their perfect Christmas was unraveling fast, and they had no idea how to stop it. And that was the sweetest part, realizing that without her, their entitlement collapsed like a house of cards. By the third day, Marina's silence had become its own kind of revenge. Her phone was buzzing non-stop, texts, calls, voicemails. The family group chat was a storm of panic. Sister, Dad says you cancelled it. Please tell me that's not true. Brother, this isn't fair, Marina. We have kids. We need somewhere to stay. Dad, you're acting childish. Fix this. Now. Marina scrolled through their frantic messages, each one more desperate than the last. And for once, she didn't feel guilty. She felt calm, powerful, almost amused. But when her dad called again that night, his fifth call of the day, she decided to answer. She wanted to hear his voice when he realized she wasn't his obedient little fixer anymore. The moment she picked up, his voice exploded through the receiver. Dad. Marina. What the hell do you think you're doing? Do you realize you've ruined Christmas for everyone? She let the silence stretch, his anger filling the space, before finally replying in a steady, measured tone. Marina, no, Dad. I didn't ruin anything. You did, when you uninvited me. There was a pause. Just a second, but she felt it. The shift. Dad, don't twist this around. You're punishing everyone over a misunderstanding. Her laugh was soft, bitter. Marina, a misunderstanding? You told me I wasn't family. You made it perfectly clear. So tell me, Dad, why would I fund a holiday I'm not even welcome at? The line went dead quiet. She imagined his face, red, jaw tight, fists clenching. For once, the man who always had the last word had nothing. Finally, his voice returned, lower now, controlled but strained. Dad, you've embarrassed this family. Do you have any idea how this makes us look? Marina's heart thudded, but her voice stayed calm. Marina. Oh, I think you'll survive. Maybe next time you'll think twice before cutting me out. And then, click. She hung up. Her hands trembled, but not from fear. From release. From finally saying the words she had been swallowing for years. She leaned back into her couch, exhaling, a slow smile spreading across her face. For once, she wasn't the one scrambling to please them. They were scrambling without her. And it felt perfect. Christmas morning. While most families were waking up to the smell of cinnamon rolls and the sound of kids tearing through wrapping paper, Marina's apartment was quiet, peaceful. She lit a single candle, poured herself a mug of hot cocoa, and curled up on the couch with a blanket. For the first time in years, she wasn't rushing around coordinating chaos. No frantic phone calls, no last-minute errands. Just stillness. And then, her phone buzzed. She almost didn't check it, but curiosity got the better of her. The family group chat was on fire. Brother, we just got to the chalet and the desk said there's no reservation under our name. Sister, they're saying it was cancelled weeks ago. Marina, did you seriously? Dad, this is ridiculous. Someone fix this. Find another rental. Anything. Marina sipped her cocoa, scrolling with an amused half-smile. She could practically see them, her dad red-faced, barking orders, her siblings frantically searching on their phones while their kids whined in the background. But of course, it was Christmas Day. Everything was booked solid. The messages grew more desperate as the hours ticked by. Sister, the only place available is a roadside motel 40 minutes away. 2 beds for all of us. Merry Christmas face with rolling eyes. Brother, this is humiliating. The kids are crying. Thanks a lot, Marina. Dad, unbelievable. You've ruined Christmas for this family. Marina chuckled to herself. Ruined Christmas? No. She hadn't ruined anything. She had simply stepped out of the role they forced her into, the invisible worker bee who kept their world spinning. Without her, their perfect little holiday had crumbled all on its own. She set her phone down, stretched out under her blanket, and turned on a cheesy Christmas movie. Outside her window, snow was falling softly, the city hushed beneath the holiday. And for the first time in her life, Marina felt free. Not lonely. Not excluded. Free. She realized something then. Her revenge wasn't just the cancelled chalet. It was this moment. Sitting in peace, knowing her family finally had to face life without her labor propping them up. And that was better than any holiday gift she could have bought. By late afternoon on Christmas Day, Marina's phone was practically vibrating off the table with notifications. Her family wasn't just panicking anymore. They were unraveling. The motel they'd been forced to book had paper-thin walls, 2 queen beds for 10 people, and a heater that rattled like an old truck. The kids were overtired, sugar-crazed, and crying. Dinner had been gas station sandwiches because every restaurant in town was closed for the holiday. And the messages in the group chat? They were gold. Sister, this is literally the worst Christmas of my life. Brother, the kids want to go home. They are asking why Santa brought them to a dump. Dad, unacceptable. You've embarrassed this family in front of everyone. Do you understand the damage you've caused? Marina read each line slowly, savoring it like bites of a rich dessert. For once, she wasn't scrambling to fix things, she wasn't apologizing for problems she didn't cause. She was just watching. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. She hadn't replied to a single message since the phone call with her dad. And part of her wanted to keep it that way, to let her silence speak for itself. But then, she typed a single line. Calm. Final. Marina, next time you decide who counts as family, maybe think twice before cutting out the person who makes it all happen. She hit send. And then, for good measure, she left the group chat. The last thing she saw before exiting was her sister typing furiously, 3 gray dots blinking on the screen. But Marina didn't stick around to read it. Because in that moment, she felt lighter than she had in years. It wasn't just about the $10,000. It wasn't even about ruining their Christmas. It was about finally proving to herself that she didn't need their approval to have value. That she could walk away and still be whole. Her family thought they'd erased her from Christmas. Instead, she erased herself from their grip, and left them to wallow in the mess they created. The irony? For the first time in her life, Marina actually had a Merry Christmas. Sometimes revenge doesn't come in explosions or screaming matches. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is silence, just stepping back and letting people feel the weight of their own actions. Marina didn't have to raise her voice. She didn't have to fight to be heard. All she did was reclaim what was hers and refuse to play the role they had forced her into her entire life. Her family thought they were punishing her by excluding her from Christmas. But in the end, they punished themselves. And the real lesson here? When you treat someone's love and effort as disposable, don't be surprised when they finally stop giving it to you. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and share it with someone who knows what it feels like to be taken for granted. And I want to hear from you. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or even taken yourself? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma shows up right on time. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and never let anyone make you feel small.